Dean Christofferson, Dean Brown, distinguished faculty, proud families and friends, and most importantly, graduating class of 2026. Needless to say, I am deeply humbled and grateful to be welcomed into the University of Toronto community to receive an honorary doctorate at today's Rotman Convocation. The first order of business is a congratulations to all the graduates. As we all know, Rotman is one of the finest business schools in Canada, and today is one definitely worth celebrating. I know you've worked very hard to get here, and you should all feel extremely proud of your accomplishment. For most of you, as President Wooden said, I am sure that your parents, partners, and friends helped make this day possible for you. The recognition you receive here today belongs in part to them. The same is true for me. While I'm the one standing before you, this honor is not at all mine alone. I share this with the talented teams I work with at GRI Capital and the Rossi Foundation. I share it also with my parents who taught me the value of serving others. And most importantly, I share it with Mr. Larry Rossi, who founded Dollarama and the Rossi Foundation. Without he and his family's steadfast commitment to giving back to the community, none of the work we do at the Rossi Foundation would be possible. I recently marked the 30th anniversary of my own MBA graduation, and I remember what it feels like to sit where you graduates are sitting today. The relief, the pride, and also the quiet uncertainty about what comes next. So rather than offer you a long list of lessons, let me start with a short story from early in my career. About 2 years at a business school, I had the good fortune to work for a firm that had just acquired a major stake in Universal Studios. Every 3 months, I flew out to LA to meet the head of the movie studio to bring our team a read on how the business was doing. So there I was, walking the Hollywood film sets, sitting across from the person who decided which movies got made and who starred in them. It was a bit like the Seth Rogen show, The Studio, minus the chaos. I must admit, at 28 years old, it was all a bit surreal. On my first trip, the president walked me through the slate of movies for the upcoming quarter. He spoke with great confidence about the stars attached, names like Brad Pitt and Anthony Hopkins, and about how each film would perform. Once I was back home, I passed this great enthusiasm on to our team. Most of those films, however, came in well below expectations. One of them, the most expensive film of the slate, was a total flop. The next quarter, I flew back to LA and asked him about the misses. He acknowledged them, but then assured me the next set of releases, those releases, would be far stronger. So once again, I carried his enthusiasm home, and once again, the results were awful. A few duds and one modest hit. On my third visit, a little bit wary going back there, the president admitted to me that he was disappointed as well. But before long, there he was, walking me through why these upcoming releases will be absolutely incredible, telling me exactly why these films would be the ones that would break through. By then, I was a little bit wiser, not much, but a little bit. I asked him, before a film comes out, before anyone has seen it, do you actually know how it's going to perform at the box office? He smiled broadly and said, no, there's no way to know for sure which films will be a hit, but we do know that every few years, some of them will be blockbusters. And those blockbusters make all this worthwhile. His answer has stayed with me for 30 years. Here was one of the most powerful executives in the business, the best data, the best talent, telling me that the most important question about any film was completely unknowable in advance. What I took away from that experience was not cynicism, but the opposite. The value he brought was not in predicting the unpredictable. It lay in the judgment he had built over decades in the industry. He knew which scripts to back, which directors to bet on, which losses to take, and what to walk away from. While he couldn't call any single film perfectly, over a long enough horizon, his judgment moved the odds, and those odds delivered the blockbusters that made all the profit. So So experience doesn't hand you the answer. It doesn't give you certainty, and it certainly doesn't give you a crystal ball. What experience does is give you judgment. There's an old saying that good judgment comes from experience, and experience comes from bad judgment. Building good judgment takes time. It comes from putting yourself in unpredictable situations and paying attention. It comes from staying with something long enough to begin to see the patterns. And it comes from making mistakes and then doing the hard work of reflecting on those mistakes so you get back in the game a little bit wiser the next time. So here's my advice to you. Seek out new experiences. Seek out the rooms where the decisions get made, and seek out the decisions where the outcome is uncertain. And when you get something wrong, because you will, many times, we all do, just learn from it. Be fully present in all of it. And when you don't know what you're looking at, pay close attention, because there'll be a lesson hiding there somewhere that will come to you at some point in time. That is how experience compounds into judgment. And over a career, it is that judgment that actually pays. From today, very little of the academic scaffolding you've leaned on here at Rotman will stay in place for you. The slate, as they say, is about to be wiped clean. Whatever your GPA, the last exam, quite thankfully, is behind you, and the game will begin anew when you leave this hall. Of course, some of it carries forward, the discipline that brought you here, and the ideas and learning and the friends that I hope will stick with you for your lifetime. But Rotman gave you structure, clear exam dates, clear answers set out in black and white. Unfortunately, life will give you none of that. In its place, you'll rely on resilience, curiosity, discernment, the ability to read a room, the instinct to ask the right question. And when it matters, the courage to act before the outcome is certain. Because as my friend in Hollywood taught me, the answer is almost never certain. All we can do is take our best shot at things. And our shots only get better through repetition, by experiencing a series of wins and losses over and over throughout our lifetimes. As Walt Whitman said, the powerful play of life goes on, and you may contribute a verse. Your next verse begins today. I wish you all the curiosity to keep learning, the resilience to bounce back when you are wrong, and the patience to let experience compound into sound judgment. Over the long, successful careers I wish for each and every one of you, this is what will matter most. My hearty congratulations to the class of 2026.